Good morning, everybody. It's October 9th. It's a Friday morning here. It's about 59 degrees out. It's supposed to get a high of 84 today. So, our growing season is still going on. We haven't had a hard frost yet. We have dipped into the 30s, into the mid 30s, but nothing died. But I'm going to take you around here, and you can see the plants definitely know that it's time to, start counting their days. But some stuff is just, hitting its prime right now. We're still getting up in the 80s, and at night we're going anywhere from the low 60s to the mid 40s for our overnight temperatures. So things are still growing. Let's start with the tomatoes. You've seen the other videos. You know all about the leaf spot, the early blight. This stuff right here, it's still going on. You can see there's really nothing left on some of these plants except a stem and some tomatoes. Just the very tips are still growing. That's the fresh growth. That's the last point where the leaf spot is going to take hold. Anything fungal starts from the bottom up mostly. But anyway, you can see I'm still got some tomatoes here. I'm ripening out the last of the year's tomatoes. Some dead leaves here. I thought I trimmed most of that stuff off yesterday. And this little clone here, this cutting I did, I'm just going to let it grow. It really hasn't had any problems with leaf spot, but I kept it trimmed. I might get one tomato out of it, but I mean, this has been my pet plant since the beginning, and it went from dead to this. So, and it's real clean and healthy. Here's a big sucker here I'm waiting on to ripen. Okay, so I got to talk to the neighbor lady to find out when I'm supposed to pick these. These are Korean radishes. You can see down here, they're just busting out of the ground, and I'm pretty sure it's time, but I don't know how big that they actually get. Some of these are popping out, and they're not as big as that one. But these are raised beds, and down there along only a few more inches past that where the ground starts is a lot of rock. So they may have they might have bottomed out, and now they're pushing up. But I'm going to ask her. All right, so here's the Napa cabbage, doing really, really, really well. Mother-in-law trimmed it up a little bit and retied them, and they're looking really healthy. This one here, the little runt, it's very healthy. It's not growing. It's kind of weird. Oh, these jalapeno pepper plants, they've been kind of crappy all year. I'm just letting them die out. Here's some of the bok choy that was transplanted from my neighbor's garden. See that each one has an outer leaf that's dying off. That's fine. A lot of good fresh growth in there. They start out really small, but then they, within a matter of days, they'll be ready to pick. As you can see, I have Napa cabbage in almost every bed. I do, yeah, in every bed. And they're each doing a little differently. Whatever was in this, and that's where I had my beets last year. They love that ground. And all this ground is pretty much, been fertilized and mixed with the same starting soil. The only thing that's going to be really different is the green beans, all that nitrogen that they're pumping into the ground here for 3 years. I'm going to rotate it out to one of these smaller beds and put maybe the tomatoes in there. Speaking of the green beans, still picking them every 2 days. Right now I got 14 freezer bags full of green beans in the freezers. Never thought I'd say it, but I'm really getting tired of them. Alright, so the marigold, which was a huge bush, the middle has kind of died out, and it's pushed the edges out, and it looks really pretty. It's just the whole way around this bed. Here's the other 4 tomato plants. And I'm not kidding. It's just stem, a few fresh leaves, and then oh shit! See, look right here, a few tomatoes here. This one's split, so that'll go to the chickens. So I still got 2 beet plants that I tried to plant into here, and they never took off. because the beans grew so fast they blocked out these whole rows. So, and I know the cabbage is not a big deal because it's going to grow late, and this will be dead by the time it really gets in bloom. So there's the other bed, the transplant cabbages, and you can see how small they are compared to those, and they were planted at the same time, but I planted them too close, so I took the runts and I put them over here, and they're going to be fine. They'll just be a late harvest. The okra, she trimmed this up pretty good now, so it really does look like a pot leaf plant. But some of the buds are going to open up into flowers, and the bees are just loving this late season source of pollen and nectar. And you know, I'm all about keeping everything harmonious in your own little world here. As we found out, my dad in Pennsylvania, he gave me a report from his. You know, these wasps that you see in your garden, you know, they're not the kind of wasps that build, you know, big nests and shit. They're solitary wasps that kill and eat a lot of the harmful bugs in your garden. So I've been letting them go. So these tomatoes over here, yeah, they're on their last legs too. They got a few tomatoes there that, of course, they're splitting. Jesus. And the one single green bean plant here has been doing really well. Still got a ton on here that are gonna plump up. Got a bunch hanging down over there. One more cantaloupe left. That's still a little bit hard. This mystery plant here, I don't know what it is. It's something. It's got a really pretty trunk on it down there. Oh, here you go. You want to see some pretty flowers. The okra flowers are opening up top on this one. There's another one back in there. Chickens are eating some of the less desirable tomatoes and some old bread right now. Overcast, so we might get a little bit of rain, so that gives me a reason not to want to mow. That's all I need. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this time, and we will talk to you later.